Hello friends, my name is Mr. Dhawale, Department of Chemistry, RBNB College, Sri Rampur. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about stereochemistry of perhydroanthracene. And in last lecture, we already discussed about two perhydroanthracene possible structures. In that case, we already seen perhydroanthracene, which structures we already discussed: cis, syn, cis, and its energy calculation, which is probable near about 6.3 kilojoules. And second, we have trans anti cis, and it has near about 2.7 kilojoules. Then next one is trans syn cis. Okay, in that case, we see here, suppose we take a planar structure, and from that planar structure we are trying to convert that into the chair conformation. So here, suppose this is trans. When we write one dot at the junction of ring A and B, okay, trans syn, so here one dot we write here, and then here also we write one dot, so that its combination is A and C with cis, and syn means what, here also required one dot, so three dots and one below the plane hydrogen is there, so that it gives this type of structure. At that time, we are trying to convert that structure into the chair conformations. So here first we write, suppose this is one chair, and having this is one hydrogen, this one is another hydrogen. This hydrogen is from this one. Why? Because this is the beta hydrogen, this one is alpha hydrogen, so that we put that hydrogen at alpha position. Then here another two hydrogens at third position is also somewhat like this. So these are the hydrogens which are look like this. Okay, and I think this structure is also somewhat in better case when we try to write like this. Okay, and you see here, this is one of the better way to get the structure in proper manner like this. Suppose this is your structure, and this is one of the cis fusion, and here this is the structure having, this is the trans protons, so we write like this, and here when we put this ring like this, at that time you get a proper shape of all these rings in a very easy manner. So you write here the structure in this case. Okay, so this is trans syn cis. Okay, then trans anti cis. How we write that structure? Okay, trans syn cis, so its calculated energy is near about 2.7. Why? Because when we go for the bicyclic ring in case of A to B, suppose we compare A and B, at that time you got here, this is transfusion, so that in trans-decalin there is a zero energy. Why? Because both the rings are transfused. And here when we consider B and C, at that time both these rings are cis fused, so cis-decalin having 2.7 kilocalories energy, so we write here 2.7 kilojoules. Okay, then in next case When we go for a next structure, trans anti-trans, trans anti-trans. We are trying to convert that simple structure into the chair conformation. So here trans anti-trans. When we put here one dot, that in that case A and B is the trans. Then anti means what? Here one dot, and at the third position, when in B and C, first carbon atom having, there is no dot. Why? Because this is the anti combination. And next one is trans. So that one dot is here. So we write here trans anti-trans. Okay, and then we try to convert that structure into the chair conformation. So suppose this is your chair. Okay, trans anti-trans, and suppose this is one proton, this is another one, trans. Okay, and here suppose this is A fusion, A fused with B, write like this, and B fused with C. Here that proton is like this, and this one is also such a type of ring fusion is there. At that time there is no possibility of chair conformation. So we try to convert that structure into the chair. So remaining bonds are somewhat like this. So we are going to trying to convert that structure into the chair. So such a type of chair is formed, but this type of chair is not formed. Why? Because they both the protons or both the bonds having ring which are trans to each other, so that it doesn't able to form a ring. But here we write or we try to give that ring shape into the chair conformation. Okay, so its energy calculation is somewhat different like this. Why? Because here 1,3 diaxial interactions are possible. Suppose we trying to convert that hydrogen into the methyl group. At that time there is 2 1,3 diaxial interaction. So such a type of 1,3 diaxial interactions are also possible in this case, so that its energy is near about suppose here we write 4 1,3 diaxial interactions, so that we write here 4 into 0.9, so we get here 3.6 kilojoules. So probably we get here trans anti-trans 3.6 kilojoules for this. Then next case is cis anti-cis. So cis anti-cis we get here. In this case we trying like this. So cis is cis anti. So this is cis. Suppose we write here anti. At that time we get here such a type of combinations of hydrogens A, B and C. So this is cis, this is trans means anti, and this one is cis. Okay, both the protons are on the same side. So right, we're trying to convert that structure into the chair conformation. Now you look here. Suppose both the protons are below the plane and both the protons are above the plane. Suppose we write here, this is your chair. Here both the protons are below the plane. Okay, and in this case both the protons are above the plane. Okay, like this. So remaining sides. Okay, so these are the remaining sides in this case. Suppose we are going to discuss this chair conformation. When we write this structure into the boat conformation, at that time that boat is also not possible. We are trying here. Suppose this is your board conformation. Okay, in this case both the bonds are below the plane. There is no possibilities there. And here also both the bonds are below the plane. Then in another way we trying to write here. Suppose this is one of the chair, one of the board conformation. At that time here we are going to write the structure. Suppose these two bonds are below the plane and these two bonds are above the plane. There is no possible. Okay, so we are trying in chair conformation also. In this case suppose we write like this. At that time these are the remaining protons which can form chair very easily, and in this case also we have chair. So this is your correct chair conformation regarding this. Okay, and these are the protons. So this is your correct structure. Okay, so in this case when we see A and B, at that time it's this is somewhat look like cis-decalin, and in cis-decalin it gives energy like 2.7. Why? Because there are 3 butane-Gauss interactions are possible, and so that we write here for A and B we get here 2.7, and another case B and C also gives cis combination, so that it also gives 2.7 kilojoule, and you see here 2.7 we get here 5.4 kilojoules. Okay, so in case of cis anti-cis we get here 5.4 kilojoules. Okay, so these are the 5 possibilities, and now we are going to discuss about its stability. So here we have 6.3, 2.7, 3.6 and 5.4. Okay, and we are going to sequence of these 5 possible conformations or 5 possibilities of perhydroanthracene. At that time more stable structure we write first, so it's decreasing stability order. So less energetic structure, which one is TAC, both having same energy, so we write here TSC. Then this is more stable, both the structures. Then the next one is TAT. Then another one next one structure which is remains trans is remaining structure, trans, which is more stable structure. Now here this is another one structure which is trans. Okay, so this is trans, this one is cis, or syn, and this is trans. Okay, so trans, syn, trans, and its energy is 0. So more stable structure is this one in this case. So we write here trans, syn, trans. Okay, so trans, syn, trans is first, then trans, anti, cis, and trans is syn, cis. The next one trans, anti, trans, and last one, last two structures are near about cis, syn, cis. The next one cis, anti, cis, cis, syn, cis. Okay, and now we are going to write its energy. So it has 0, is less than here 2.7, nearly equal to 2.7, then less than 3.6, then less than 5.4, less than 6.3. Okay, now this is the stability order and also energy sequence of these Chair conformations of perhydroanthracene, and we are trying to convert that structure into the chair and also calculate its possible theoretical or probable theoretical energy, and according to that energy we put that all 6 conformations into the decreasing order of stability. Okay, and this is overall about the perhydroanthracene, and remaining part of this such type of rings which is perhydrophenanthrene, and having somewhat different combination of A and C with B. In that case, here one uncommon carbon atom is seen in between A and C ring fusion. At that time, in case of perhydrophenanthrene, this C ring is attached at this center, at these two centers. Why? Because there is no uncommon carbon atom in between A and C, so that is somewhat different structure and it gives different stability orders regarding this. Okay, remaining part we will see in next lecture. Okay, thank you.